Let us discuss today's newspaper. The first thing which I told, which is very important, is Pesco Defense Pact. PESCO. PESCO. Pesco Defense Pact. Permanent Structured Cooperation. The pact is signed among 25 European Union countries. Pesco Defense Pact is signed among 25 European countries to have a common defense support. According to them, they are spending nationally millions of euros, millions of dollars for their defense support individually. If they have common agreement, some of their defense expenditure can be reduced and they can have a better defense system. This is Pesco Defense Pact. In the growing unreliable world, particularly China, NATO, and most of the countries want collective security. In the IR terminology, Pesco Defense Pact can be termed as a collective security mechanism where countries will forge an alliance. When there is an attack, they can retaliate effectively. When there is an attack, they can retaliate effectively. In this collective security, they will have a common system and all the countries will take a collective course, because no country in the modern world, however big it might be, great it might be, cannot control or protect itself in all domains, in all spheres. So, having a collective security mechanism, defense pact, is a very big thing. And 25 countries coming together at a single stroke. 25 countries coming together at a single stroke and signing this Pesco Defense Pact itself is a big thing. 25 European countries coming together and signing a Pesco Defense Pact itself is a very good thing, big thing. In future we can predict some other groups like this might come in the world. Already we know NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was formed in 1949 as a collective defense arrangement. NATO, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was formed in 1949 as collective defense mechanism, defense arrangement between America and Western European countries. And we also see in Warsaw Pact. Even the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, in which India have become member recently. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, to which India have become member recently, initially which is also a security organization. Later on, its aims were diversified. And Pesco is going to be the one of the big things in the coming years. It's a defense pact of European Union. 25 countries are the members in that. 25 countries are members in that, and some countries opted out of that, like Malta. Some countries are not the members in Pesco. Even you all know Brexit came out and Britain cannot become a member in Pesco. And the next important thing is, yesterday, day before yesterday, our defense minister Nirmala Sitharaman told DRDO has a major role to play in making India dreams of India. In the defense production, generally, we rely more on foreign technology than indigenous technology. In defense production, we rely more on foreign technology than indigenous technology. Now, in 2016, we have new DPP, Defense Procurement Procedure 2016, which is based on Dhirendra Singh Committee recommendations. The 2016 Defense Procurement Procedure is based on Dhirendra Singh Committee recommendations. This committee have highlighted the requirement of indigenous content indigenous content in defense technology. Now we are going to integrate Make in India with defense technology, but 100% world class it is not possible. 100% indigenous production of defense technology is not possible and also not viable, but increasing the indigenous content and self-reliance is very important now. Self-reliance in the defense technology is very important. Yesterday Nirmala Sitharaman have emphasized on that. Next important current affairs this week is Nepal's elections. Nepal's elections. You all know in Nepal UML have won the elections, almost have taken a lead in the elections. United Leninist Marxist-Leninist Party. From last 20 years, the Nepal, a landlocked state, have seen lots of ups and downs. Maoist insurgents, earthquake, unstable governments, people's resistance, royal coups. Completely Nepal have a lot of troubles. 2015 new constitution in Nepal is a secular constitution and made Nepal a democracy, proper democracy, and Nepal's new constitution is a modern constitution in many respects, like LGBT rights was given in the Nepal's new constitution, and it's a mixed system in elections. First past the post system along with proportional representation. Let us hope that democracy will last long in Nepal and people's rights will be effectively protected. India's objection is the Madeshis and Janjatis. Madeshis and Janjatis who live in the Terai region in Nepal, they were considered as second graded citizens in most of the citizenship affairs and also state affairs. India wants equal status for all of them. That's a major concern for India. Rest, you all know 2015 when Nepal's new constitution was promulgated, India asked Nepal about the issue of Madeshis, and our diplomat also went to Nepal, but Nepal considered it as an intrusion of India into Nepal's affairs, internal affairs. But still, our aim is to have a democratic, peaceful Nepal. Let us hope that Nepal will be a long-standing democracy from now on, a better democracy where interests of all groups will survive in Nepal. Next important editorial today is on Talaki Biddat, instant triple talaq. Instant talaq. As you all know, last week Cabinet approved a bill for making triple talaq a criminal offence. Last week Cabinet approved a bill for making triple talaq a criminal offence and 3 years punishable with 3 years. Punishable with 3 years punishment if a man goes for instant triple talaq. The editorial is very critical about this, making it as a crime, as a punishable offence for 3 years. It is unnecessary and it is counterproductive. According to the other, 3 years punishment is unnecessary and counterproductive. Rather than slow change, making it as a civil offence first and slowly bringing awareness and developmental aspects is far better than instantly making this a crime for 3 years, punishable for 3 years. So this is the content of the article. Next article is on a measured leap. A measured leap. In this article, an exoplanet was discovered. Exoplanet is a planet outside solar system. Exoplanets are the planets which exist outside solar system. You have 2 exoplanets. One is Kepler 90I, Kepler 80G. Kepler 90I and Kepler 80G, two exoplanets were discovered by NASA. Till date, many exoplanets were discovered in thousands, but this exoplanet is different. One is, we have seen planets, 8 planets revolving around a star outside the solar system, and more importantly, this exoplanet is very important on a particular thing: deep learning and neural networks. This detection, almost the scientists in America, 2 experts in America have brought a new technology called deep learning and neural networks. Works like a human brain almost, like artificial intelligence, and with this they have discovered this. Deep learning and neural networks is a keyword of the article. In the entire article, apart from 90I and 80G, you have deep learning and neural networks, a concept where it works like a human brain, artificial brain, and it will detect many new things. This is called deep learning and neural networks. Next important article is on the crisis of globalization. The crisis of globalization. In the world, we are seeing new trends. Donald Trump's protectionism, Brexit, Britain going out of European Union, even India emphasizing on Make in India, conservative parties winning all over the world, most of the countries except the countries like France. You will see a trend now. We are seeing a trend. The trend is people are preferring their nationalities rather than globalism. People are giving more priority to their nationalism rather than globalism. Anti-globalism wave we are seeing in the world right now. Why this? Why this? The reason is, for example, NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. There are 3 countries in NAFTA: Canada, US and Mexico. Canada and US are considered as developed countries. Mexico is a developing country. Cheap labor, cheap products, all these things will go from one country to other country, affecting the countries, the original country's interest. Trump is against NAFTA. Trump wanted to redraw the rules of NAFTA. He wanted to renegotiate the rules of NAFTA, because even Mexico cheap labor is coming, American labor, they are losing the jobs. So most of the things he has his own concern. It's not about the common interest, but the individual interest of the country is very important. The interest of America is very important for America. The interest of Britain. One of the reasons for Brexit is free flow of migrants to Britain. One of the reasons for Brexit is free flow of migrants to Britain, and the other reason is Britain is contributing more to European Union than getting from European Union. That is the reason. So for Britain, Britishers come first. For Americans, for America, Americans come first. So the world is becoming narrow now, and every country is thinking about its own interest. So we are seeing anti-globalism trends. Even in most of the cases, take for example, China is asking for market economy status. China is asking for market economy status. If a country gets a market economy status, its goods will not have any entry-exit barriers. You cannot levy anti-dumping huge duties or the other things. For example, China goods are very cheap. Our goods are very costly. If China dumps the goods, we cannot levy big taxes on Chinese goods, because it is a market economy. Even the entire prices will depend on demand and supply rather than the country's taxes, all those things. So America is also seriously refusing China's market economy status. India is also very skeptical about giving market economy status. Market economy status is given by WTO. Market economy status will be accorded by WTO. This might be a prelims question. All these things, if you see the recent trends, every country is trying to protect, and rather than globalism, countries are more interested in regionalism. Right now if you observe, rather than going with globalism, countries are more interested in drawing regional pacts. If you observe the RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the AIIB, Asian Investment Infrastructure Bank, African Union, OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. The trend is going towards regionalism rather than globalism. Even Asian community, Asian economic community, integration of ASEAN. The countries are more interested in FTAs with other countries and regional groupings rather than globalism. So, protectionism, when their interest is involved, regionalism rather than globalism. This is a trend that is going on in the world, and most of the leaders are discontent with the globalized policies. Most of the leaders are not happy with the globalized policies. Let us see how the tables will turn in future with respect to globalism. And you all know the mechanisms like IMF, IBRD, WTO work for globalism and new things. And now if you see the recent WTO Buenos Aires talks also, every country is thinking about its own interest rather than the global interest. Even in Paris climate deal, America announced withdrawal from the Paris deal. Again protectionism, which China and India are strongly objecting this, America coming out of this, and China and India wanted to have the Paris deal to be survived. All these things shows that every country has its own apprehensions about globalism. At the same time, every country wants their country to be protected first. Next important article, the question of intra-party democracy. The question of intra-party democracy. In most of the political parties in India, we see dynastic politics and anointed leaders. In most of the political parties in India, we see dynastic politics and anointed leaders. What is an anointment? Anointment is a procedure where the king will coronate the prince by giving a blessing to him. That means every party will be controlled by a family or a group of people. As you all know, in political science we have Mitchell's iron law of oligarchy. Mitchell's iron law of oligarchy. When a group of people or a family will sit in the power, perpetually, permanently, they want to control everything. They aim to control everything, and they will close the doors for everyone. In every political party, there is a command and a cadre. Cadre means the actual foundation of a political party, the people who actually work for the political party. But in India, political parties means command structures. Few people and few groups control everything. Political parties are the lifelines of democracy. But in fact, they don't follow proper democratic methods in their party system, in the entire party, even their office bearers to everything, complete centralized decision making, and charismatic leaders will become the face of the party, and cadre will be completely missing, and cadre will be working for the party, and the leader will be enjoying the power centers, and all power is focused. There is no proper hierarchy and decentralization of power. And what we need is intra-party democracy and internal party democracy. Then only an effective democratic system will evolve in India, even in the people. Otherwise, political parties will lose their significance very fast. That's the reason why M.N. Roy, Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan, most of them said there should be a partyless democracy in India. There should be a partyless democracy in India. Political parties, instead of working for democracy, they are becoming hindrances for democracy. They are thwarting the democratic processes. The need of the hour is the internal party democracy. How we can bring that? We can bring that only when common man, without any interest in vested politics, if they really work for the service of the people, then automatically things will turn. And young people, if they enter into politics, work in it with the democratic values, it will also happen. Even in the party elections, if you see, if any high commander decides a leader, there won't be an opposition for that leader also. He will be selected automatically or she will be selected automatically. That should not be there. There should be proper elections even in the office bearers, even in the party's president, party secretary. For all the posts, there should be proper elections and there should be a competition so that lower rank people will come up. There will be circulation. As you all know, Mosca and Pareto told about circulation of elites. At least we don't have the circulation also. We don't have circulation within the party. Same people, same group is exercising power forever in the political party. This article was written latently with the spirit of Rahul Gandhi becoming the president of INC, the sixth person from the same party to become from the same family to become the president of the party. Rahul Gandhi is the sixth person from the same family to become the leader of the party. That is one of the contentions. Next important article is about skills within the schools. Skills within schools. In skills within schools, in India we have high ambition of skill development. In India we have very high ambition of skill development. In fact, we are heading towards demographic dividend. We are heading towards demographic dividend. By 2020, the average age of Indian is 29 years. By 2020, the average age of Indian is 29 years. But what type of skill development we are making in India? We have started National Skill Development Council, National Skill Mission, and we have many programs for skill development, Udan, Himayat, many programs. Even we have a program under RMSA, Rashtriya Madhyamika Shiksha Abhiyan. It's a program for secondary education. Along with the secondary education, occasional training, skill developments will also be imparted. But unfortunately, in Rashtriya Madhyamika Shiksha Abhiyan, there is no customized skill development for various age groups. For 12 to 18 years, same skills will be imparted. In the same way, the skills which are needed for the society, which are in demand, are not being imparted. Demand supply mismatch in skill development. There is a complete demand supply mismatch. Apart from that, in most of the skill development programs, we don't focus on education, basic education. Most of the companies which recruit young people, they want basic education along with skills. But most of the skill development programs address only dropouts. If you are 10th class dropout or intermediate dropout and have a skill, you may not get a better chance of good employment. If you are a graduate and have a particular skill, there is a better chance of having good employment. So, what we need is skill development along with basic education. That also should be a criteria. In India, that is missing. Apart from that, in most of the skill development programs, it's only for namesake certification. Real skills are not being imparted. Though they will have a certificate, again the companies have to give training to them. Recently, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, Indian minister have announced we are going to start a new service, skill cadre. A new service is being started in India called skill cadre. Like Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, we will also have in future an idea called skill development service. A very good service where you can have plan better skills and systems, all these things, called new skill development service that was being supported. Okay, so you can discuss about this Indian Skill Service. The service name is Indian Skill Service. Indian Civil Services will soon establish. Indian Civil Services will soon establish a new cadre that will recognize their skills, and development, much like cadres such as IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS. Much like cadres like IAS, IFS, IPS, IRS. The scheme also include the Sankalp, SANKALP. The scheme also includes the Sankalp, SANKALP. Sankalp means skills acquisition and knowledge awareness. Skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion. Skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion. Sankalp in collaboration with World Bank. Sankalp in collaboration with World Bank. Okay, these are the important current affairs.